Welcome everyone. Today we have a special guide to deal more damage in Diablo 4. Now what I'm about to show you guys is one of the methods of doing more damage with barbarians, but you can also be using this similar method using the logic for other classes as well. So this is one of the chat between me and also Envy, who is a very strong barbarian in my clan. Now currently I don't think Envy is online, but if he's online I could have shown you his skills. So what is happening is, he was showing me one of the special tricks with Barbarian that deals more damage on the side with splash damage. And with a HOTA Barbarian, he can easily deal 67 million damage, and this is pretty incredible, right? So what we'll do is, in this video, it will be broken down into several parts. The first part is, I'll show you guys some of my video replays and also demonstrations of using the trick Envy told me, and I tested it out. It works, and also I'll be getting a boost of damage. I'll show you guys a comparison of the videos. Now in the second part, I'll briefly talk to you guys about dealing more damage as a barbarian, because there's a lot of ways, a lot of methods of dealing more damage using different gears, and I have some of those gears ready to show you guys. You can see there will be chests that deals more damage, and there's gloves that deals even more damage to injured enemies. Similarly, there will be amulets and also pins that allows you to do more damage as barbarians. Now finally, at the end of the video, we'll talk about how you can be dealing more damage for any of the class. So this doesn't have to be barbarians. So because I'm playing barbarians currently, we'll talk about barbarians in more details. And we'll talk about the build locations and also method for the barbarians to deal over 60 million damage. But for other classes, if you also use this method, you can also deal a lot more damage. So coming over to the first part. You can see the conversation between me and Envy was a few days ago because I didn't have time to test this out. And also to test this out, I need to be crafting my legendaries differently. So notice that now my Hammer of Engine is crafted on the two-handed weapon, and this was previously on the gloves. And this was actually swapping between the legendaries on the gloves and also on the two-handed weapon. This actually took me a while to farm those legendaries to test this out. So this is one of the reasons I didn't get to test this out when he messaged me. So what Envy is saying is, if you're doing the slams on the side of the monsters, you can deal tremendous damage as a barbarian. And similarly, this will be the case for any of the classes. So the highlight is, you will be doing more damage on the side for any of the classes if you have splash damage. So for the how to build barbarian example, we're doing 100% more damage on the two-handed weapon. And let me show you guys the replays. Now I find that one of the best ways to be testing the AoE slam replays is I'm slamming on an unmovable object. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see the AoE damage on the monsters around it. So here it's only a level 53 dungeon, and what I want to show you guys is, notice I'm slamming on the unmovable object, and the monsters on the side are taking way more damage than usual. And this is before I change into the new gears, which gives me 100% more slam damage. I'm currently using the 50% on the gloves, and I'll show you guys a little more over here. So what I start to notice is, notice that I'm getting millions of damage on one of the single slams. And over here you can see I'm doing the slam on the immovable object, and here the skeletons were taking about 7 million damage because of the AoE splash. So I've tested this a little more, of course. So what I want to show you guys is, yes, we are testing on objects that can allow us to slam monsters. And let's see if I can get a good catch over here to show you guys a little more. So you can see here that we're slamming on the single target. As we slam on the single target, you can see that we're doing a lot more splash damage. So here I'm slamming on this object. I'm doing about 6 million damage to the enemies on the side. Now the damage variation is a little different because whether you're applying the vulnerability and whether you're stunning enemies will affect this build as well. So similarly, I will be doing testings, and notice I even found a stronger dungeon. I'm finding a level tier 75 dungeon, and here we're going to slam onto the immovable object to see the AoE damage around it. So let me briefly show you guys a little bit. Notice right away you can see a big difference. I was slamming for about 6-7 million damage AoE, and now I'm slamming for 14 million damage. I think I got to 19 million damage once in this replay, and what I do is I'll have the entire replay to show you guys. Using the slam build, you actually seems to be doing way more damage in terms of AoE damage. It is much more stronger in terms of AoE. You are losing out a little bit damage in terms of single target, of course, but what I do is I'll show you guys the method over here. So the logic behind the method is that you'll be slamming enemies using the Hammer of Engine, deals 100% damage to the enemies on the side. So we'll be wanting to focus on enemies on the side, while still maintaining the maximum fury and also getting more damage from stun enemies and also more fury. Now going through my replay briefly, what you want to do is you don't want to be directly targeting elites, you want to be hitting the monsters on the side of the elites, and this will benefit more damage as you slam enemies. So notice here I'm slamming this little elite, and this is doing millions of damage to the elite monsters on the side, and this is the focus. Because you are hitting the monsters on the side, you are doing way more damage than usual. And if you use this correctly, when the boss monster summons minions, or if you're slamming on the normal monsters against elites, you are doing way more damage than usual. And yes guys, of course, my build currently, we will not be doing 60 million damage, because I'm not going with a stun lock build. If I was switching onto the stun lock build onto my two-hand weapon, I can easily deal 30 or even 40 million damage. And if I perfect my gears, which I'll show you guys very soon, I can also deal 60 million damage. But it cost me way too much to rebuild my build, and I really like the attack speed build I share with you guys. So yes guys, if you want to see this new building actions, I have changed the build a little bit just to test the slamming damage. And I do apologize for constantly changing the build even though I just posted the build guide, because I want to be testing more things for you guys. And when I have a good discovery, I want to share with you guys. I don't want to, get you guys the trouble of changing build all the time, but if there's something nice and something good about the barbarians or any of the class, I still want to share it with you guys, because I'm also doing lots of testing. So yes, this combination of build is extremely fun, and because I'm slamming onto the single monsters on the side, and when it kills the elites, it feels very enjoyable. It's like having a new technique with barbarians. And funny enough, over here during the replay, I actually got carried away a little bit. I didn't see the explosion. I was like, I'm so tanky, I'm gonna die, right? And at level 75 or level 80 tier levels, you gotta be careful with explosions. The monster died and I died because of explosion. I only died once in this replay though, and I have the entire replay to show you guys at the end of the video for the latest update of the barbarian build. If you guys haven't subscribed, it is a really good time to do so, because I'll be covering tons of Diablo 4 related topics and also videos and also guides. We'll be looking to the top meta builds, non-meta builds, leveling up, and also paragon tricks. We're also looking to the latest events and also official updates, and also changes to different characters and also different builds in the game. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also turn the notification on, because a lot of you who are watching the videos have not subscribed. You can see 80% of the viewers who are watching our videos have not subscribed, so make sure you subscribe to stay tuned for the latest update for Diablo 4. Now briefly coming over to the second part. We talk about the splash damage on the first part. So how would you deal more damage for any of the class and also for Barbarian especially? So over here, what you're gonna notice is, in our previous guide video, we have had one of the FX Excel that shows you what gears can unroll onto what. This is not updated yet guys, we're still using this one, but we'll be updating this one very soon. So there will be damage while berserking, and those can be rolled onto certain items, and there will also be, notice that damage on berserking can be rolled onto helmet. And similarly, if I type in damage over here, you can see that this also rolls on the chest. And finally, what I want to show you guys is, you can be rolling multiple ways of doing more damage on the chest, and also more ways of doing more damage on the pants. Here I'll be doing 26% more damage after killing elites, and this pants is not even upgraded. And here you can see we'll be doing more damage on the chest. And as for the amulet for the barbarians or any of the class, you can be finding more sources of bonus damage, in terms of pure bonus damage or maybe bonus damage from certain aspects, and also passives. For the barbarians, this one will be the heavy-handed. +3 on the amulet will give you about 60% more critical damage. No critical rate, this will be tremendous, right? So +3 on the amulet will give us about 60% more critical damage because of this. So currently I'm changing my build to try the Thorns build, but you can see I only have +3. If you get this one to +6, you'll be doing way more damage. Now of course guys, you can even find more sources of more damage on top of the gloves. So a lot of people were going with gloves with lucky hit, or maybe for me with more critical rate, right? So one of the gloves I've tried with more damage is that you deal 42% more damage when enemies are injured. And this means they're below 35% HP. Well, at that rate, you're not really here to kill them more, right? You're here to do a big number. And this is one of the ways you can be doing it yourself over 60 million damage. Now finally, if you guys want to go a little more extreme, you can perk more of your knots onto more offensive knots onto the paragons. And if you're using a critical potion, critical damage potion, and also using a lethal shire, you can easily deal over 60 million damage using barbarians. Let me show you guys some of the great potions. So some potions increase critical chance, critical damage. Other potions will increase flat critical damage by 25%. And similarly, the shines we're talking about, this will increase your critical damage by another 100%. So if you guys are going for hard hitting barbarian or for any of the class, make sure you look into those to do more damage. Now coming over to the last part. Over here, I'll briefly show you guys my test runs of the barbarian using the latest change using the splash damage. Everything else is the same. So if you look at our previous video guide, so here, our previous video guide, we have had 2 barbarian build. If you're going for the single target, I still recommending using the Storm Barbarian. If you're going with higher DPS, I recommend using attack speed barbarian. So I'm currently using attack speed barbarian in this recording over here to show you guys. And just to show you guys the skill rotations, what you want to do is, because we have a glyph effect that applies vulnerability 100% for 3 seconds, you want to be damaging the foes while having maximum fury. You want to be stunning foes because your passives also give you bonus when enemies are stunned and also vulnerable. And finally guys, if you're getting more damage with a barrier, make sure you have that as well. So for me, the combination of dealing more damage is to shout first for maximum fury. And I'm gonna hit the enemy once to get close to them with my launch strike. And then I'm gonna stun them with my ground stomp. And while I'm at maximum fury because of casting the shout and also ground stomp, I'm gonna pray for a lucky hit for critical. And this is the best ways for me to deal more damage consistently. Now at the end of this replay video, I'll briefly show you guys my entire gear choices during the testing run. So you get to see that I have changed the Hellmouth engine onto the 2-handed weapon to deal more splash damage. Do keep in mind guys, because I'm changing this one, I'm losing about 10 to about 20% direct damage onto the single target. But if I'm hitting on the side, I'm doing 50% more damage because of this.
must wait.
Now before you go, and if you guys didn't know, we have a new YouTube channel. And if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and check out the behind the scenes and also fun clips and also more stories about us. And then you get to know me a little more personally instead of just reading the news and also the games, right? So I want to share a little bit more with you guys. So make sure you check this channel out if you're interested about Matt and also Uni. She's really funny too, and she's really shy. So I want to give her a surprise and do a shout out for the new channel to get some subscribers. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next time.